Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where we are restoring a 68 Chevelle Nomad wagon, and we're right in the middle of an LS swap. Well, we're done with the swap. We're just getting it ready to run. Got some guy on there that's not a Nomad again, and said, yeah, it is. No, it ain't. Don't keep calling it a Nomad. So another guy needs to be educated, I guess. Just all you gotta do is Google 68 Nomad. Google it or put it on YouTube, and it'll come up. He says, what's the reason you keep calling it a Nomad? And I said, well, because GM calls it a Nomad, therefore it is a Nomad. I didn't call it a Nomad. I didn't name it a Nomad. Anyway, I just get a kick out of them guys. They're just so... okay, so last episode we got her in there. It's all bolted up where I want it. Engine, transmission, everything's bolted up. And what we're doing is hooking everything up the way it was in the truck. So that's why I kind of got all this stuff rigged. Got the mass airflow sensor hooked up, air cleaner where it's supposed to be. Because some cars, I bought a what's the GM one there? Not a PT Cruiser. I can't think of the name of it, and I've had a couple of them. And this young stoner kid calls me up, man, I got a car and I had my buddies change the alternator on it. Now it don't run, it sputters, it has no power. It's just, I went over there and I gave him $100 for it. And sure enough, it would barely run and sputtering. Come to find out, his buddy had loosened all the air cleaner, took all this off to change the alternator, and it was all on there half-ass, like kind of sticking here, sticking out here. And when I got it back home, I just pushed these on there, tightened it up, and the thing ran like brand new. An HHR, that's what it was. Run like brand new. So if everything ain't connected perfectly, these things will run like shit. I don't know about 5.3, but the HHR did, and a bunch of other cars. So we're connecting all this stuff on there the way it's supposed to be, tightening everything up, plugging everything in, all the plugs. If you got a disconnected plug, same thing. It won't run worth a shit, or you'll lose power or whatever. Okay, so that's the plan, is to hook everything up. I started here, run into a problem with the heater hoses. These two are the heater hoses. They're both the same size. The factory, I got the new heater core in there. One's bigger than the other. Anyway, I bought a new heater hose for one, but this one goes into a T. So I bought 3 foot of this hose, and then 2 feet of this hose, and with an adapter. We're going to splice that in. I went to get all new radiator hoses, but they're just AutoZone was so in disarray there. I waited for an hour to get 3 hoses, and he said he blamed it on somebody messed up all the hoses in the wrong spots. So I was going to get new top hose, the new bottom hose down here. This one was like $28, but the little bottom one, just a little one, that was $33. And then this one here, it comes out into the overflow. Does it come in the overflow? Yeah, it comes right here. That thing was $46. And then it was just all rigged up. It wasn't a complete joint like that. It was like this T-joint with little clamps on there and everything. And anyway, he couldn't find one of them, even though they're supposed to be in stock. And he says, oh yeah, it shows we have 2 in stock, but I can't find it. And I said, well, you know what? I don't want it. I don't want any of them then. Just give me some heater hoses. So anyway, so this was like $45 on eBay. It's 28. So if I'm gonna get and you can get the upper and lower on eBay too. I think I'll just order it all through eBay. that's not necessary to get it running, but that's eventually what we're gonna do here, is replace all these hoses and stuff, because it's going to be driven thousands and thousands of miles, and don't want to take a chance. You know, this stuff that's on here is probably 20 years old, from a 2001 Silverado. So anyway, brand new headers coming. I think they'll be here tomorrow, if not the next day. I think they're going to arrive a day early. I'm going to put the headers on and see if they fit down in here without hitting the frame or anything. They got the collectors, and then later on we'll figure out some pipes, either some side pipes or an X pipe kit from eBay or whatever. So we'll be getting that on in this video, getting the headers on. Okay, therefore we can get it running. Can't get it running like this with nothing on there. The regular exhaust manifolds don't fit. They hit the frame. They're supposed to fit with a little grinding. Grind off a 1/4 inch or something on the side, and it should fit. This is all kind of temporary here. A sponsor said they're going to send me a new radiator, but I'm not sure when. So I hooked up the old radiator, old truck radiator. It will fit. It's just got to be 2 holes drilled in the bottom of the radiator support, and it'll sit down here flush. So then after I get all this connected here, we're going to do all the wiring. This is all the wiring here. A lot of this is just junk that we're not going to need, but I just grabbed everything off the truck. And then we're going to run it down and connect the steering column to it. Right, and I'm just going to lay it down here like this. Hook the steering column up, see if she'll start with the key, and then we're going to run down and hook it to the truck fuel tank, which is right here. We should get this all done this video. I'm going to try, unless I run into problems. And see if it'll start. Make sure it starts and runs like it did in the truck. Then we'll start disconnecting crap on here that we don't need. I got a lot of this stuff because I want the transmission to work. I want the gauges to work. All that stuff, just like it did in the truck. We got some bonus items, such as this cruise control. We may have cruise control. All it is a plug, and I got the plug. We got the OBD2 sensor thing there to plug in to check it. We got that. You got a bunch of little bonus stuff other than just, you know, starting it up and hearing it run with nothing, no gauges, no nothing working. We're going to try to get everything all working just the way it did in the truck, so we don't have to buy anything other than maybe a standalone fuel pump, because I'm not going to be able to fit this gas tank in it. Okay, so that's the plan for this video. I'm in no big rush. We still got to drive it or nothing, because we still got to, we'll have the exhaust to do, then the drive shaft getting cut. And then also we're working on this AC here. This is the factory condenser. Of course, we're not going to use that. We're going to use the one off the truck. But the one off the truck's a little bit wider. The one for the Chevelle fits up under here and goes right here, right below this bracket here. And this condenser here from the truck is going to be right at the bottom, so we're going to have to build a little bracket for this bracket. We're going to try to tuck it up under there as far as I can. Right now we got to cut these edges off here because they hit right where it curves, so we got to cut them off and then just put a screw bolting the nut through there and here. Then this one here, we got to cut a hole in here somewhere so that fits through. Oh well, shit. This is the one hose. That hose is supposed to fit there. Well, we'll see what we can do. That one fits there. Then I got the other AC line here, and that fits on the bottom of this right here, and we'll bring that in there somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that too. all this little stuff. So, oh, and we got the I used the factory hole for the accelerator cable. It's almost in there. It's right there. I just gotta lengthen this a little bit longer here so it's not bound up. And we're gonna see if we can connect the gas pedal to it. See if it's the same. I think it might be. If not, we got to cut the one out of the pickup and weld it in this. That's how it's mounted in the truck. It's welded part of the floor bracing, not bracing, but it's welded into the floor, how the gas pedal mounts. I'm working on that too. Okay, and the other thing is the fuel lines. We're going to just connect the fuel lines there and bend it around and connect to the tank just to see if it runs and everything. Later on we'll may have to cut and splice them and everything. But these are the fuel lines here. There's another AC section there. Power steering. We got to get this power steering. That's the power steering cooler. But the power steering pump itself, from the truck right here, these are metric connections, whereas the originals are standard, and these lines here are bent to shit. So I'm going to see if I can round up 2 more lines, see if we can use the cooler. I think it wraps up underneath here and mounts up here in front of the condenser. If that don't work, we'll just do away with it and then get 2 connections in there somehow. We got to get that before it runs. We can't run it without power steering and ruin the pump and have it leaking or anything. So that's the plan of this video. I will be back when I start getting some stuff done. If I run into problems, stuff like that. So I'll be back. Okay guys, little update here before I move on to other stuff. I got this heater hose in here, a brand new one. I said that is the, well, they're both the same size, but this is the 5/8 3/4. So I got the whole line for the 5/8, the 3/4 one, well, 3/4 end here, and then this is still 5/8. This thing here was like, I might have told you last segment, it was like 45 bucks or something. So I got 2 feet of the 3/4 and then got a 5/8 to 3/4 adapter here and put that on there. So this is the weakest link down here, but I can get it off eBay for 28, so I might do that. I'm still gonna have to put an adapter there because it's 3/4 end on there. Okay, so I got that done. The AC I'm gonna stop for a while. I can't get a good spot for that condenser. I kind of stuck it behind the radiator here. I could get this top one line on there, but the bottom one's way down there, and I just got a little frustrated with it. I don't think I can mount it in front. I'm gonna try again, but okay, power steering. I had this new return line here from a while back. I bought it for something, and it actually said 6872 Chevelle, so I must have bought it for my Chevelle but didn't need it. All right, you know, I think they sent me 2. I think they sent me 2 instead of 1, so I had an extra one, something like that. Anyway, it came with these little crimping clamps, one there and one there. I guess that's all it needs because it's not pressurized, or not, you know, high pressure. So that fit in there, and then it fit right on the end of the power steering pump. Now the high pressure screws in there and then comes around, and of course it's metric, so it's not going to screw into the box. So when I seen these clamps, I thought, well, I did a bunch of PEX repairs there on the mobile home. And anyway, I had these clamps here with the pliers. These are the PEX things there. You stick it in there and clamp it. And they're heavy duty, they're like double. And then they got the little deals on there. So I cut the end off, so it's just this metal tube to this metal tube right here, and then I put 2 of them on there. And this line here, this little piece was, I cut off the end of this. And it looked, you know, pretty good. But anyway, that'll be the weakest point. We'll have to watch that if it leaks out of there because it's high pressure. I'm gonna have to have a custom hose made if that's the case, and get a hose like this. But we'll see if this works. I haven't put no power steering fluid in there yet. I haven't got any. Okay, so we got that. Yeah, I didn't put on the cooler. The cooler here, because like I said, these were all metric things there, and I couldn't quite figure out how I could actually do it. But I don't think, you know, it's on a truck for towing and heavy and all that. I don't think I'll need it on here. Hopefully not. And I got a bunch of line here so it can kind of cool itself there. The fan's gonna be here. Okay, the accelerator cable barely fit in the same hole. There's a little bit different. The truck ones are supposed to be a round hole, and this one was kind of more square. So I just put a little deal in there to wallow it out just a little bit, and it popped in there. It's real tight though. And you had to use, there's a little, right here, there's a little plastic deal that goes in, see, this pops out forward, then there's a slit in there so you can take it away from the cable. So that's what I did for the old one. And then see, the Silverado one mounts a little bit different. It has a different clip. So I just reused that clip, stuck it on there and pushed it back in. Being 54 years old, it still worked. And that's the hole there. I might put a little JB weld or something, but it's, here's the gas pedal here. I got the, where is the pedal? There's the pedal here. It clips, it just clips on there. I got it off for, you know, putting the carpet in. So there's the cable. Now I'm gonna check it and make sure it gets full throttle, because we don't want to be missing a ½ inch or something of throttle. But anyway, that's it right there. I think it'll work. That truck one would have been a pain in the ass to put in there. So anyway, yeah, we need full throttle, and gotta compensate for the carpet and the padding there too. So we gotta make sure she's gonna go all the way down. Okay, yeah, this is for the speedometer cable. I don't think we're gonna be needing that. Okay, so those are the little jobs I got done so far. Now I'm gonna move on and connect some more stuff. I think there was something else, but anyway, I'll be back when I get some more stuff done. Okay guys, I just got the headers in. They're stainless steel. That's the passenger side. They come with the collectors here and a spot for the O2 sensors, which I'll be putting in. Apparently you got to use at least the top 2. Comes with gaskets. Now these were in the complaints and the feedback that these bolts are too big, and sure enough they were. So you got to use the original ones. Okay, so the problem we had with the original ones is this is hitting the frame here. Someone said they just cut out the whole thing and welded on something. But anyway, I've just stuck the driver's side on here, and plenty of room right here. It's not hitting the frame or anything. I haven't put the gasket on it, just kind of stuck 2 bolts on there. So it looks like we got plenty of clearance. I'll check the passenger side, but I'm sure it'll fit. And I'm just not sure exactly what to do about this EGR thing here. You know, some guy commented that, oh, you can just put a block off plate. I did that on my truck and pulled this off, and just the lighting on the dash stays on. It runs even better than new. And someone else says, oh, you don't want to open up a can of worms. You don't want to unplug that, and you'll just be in for a real mess. So who knows what to believe. But I'm gonna have to do something about that. I'll have to read up some more on that. I got the fuel done. Okay, these are the original 3 fuel lines. 2 right here, and the vent thing that goes up here. It's got a bracket that bolts on the back of the transmission right down in here somewhere. So that's bolted on there. Now, I just kind of got it pulled. Kind of sat down there and pulled it around and hooked it up to the fuel tank. So you got the 2 fuel lines here and the vent here. Then you got this mess here, this and this, which I want to do away with this whole vent thing. There's something to get at least rid of these 2. Anyway, that vents into this, and this vents into the gas tank down here, right to here, and to here. It tees off the middle one, which someone changed a fuel pump and put in a zip tie. Yeah, that's a vent, and it tees off into here. Okay, so we got it hooked up to the fuel tank. We just got to hook up the electrical here, and I think there was one electrical, yeah, there's an electrical plug right on this damn thing, so I didn't want to leave that disconnected in case something went haywire. So we'll run it with straight headers. So let me get the headers on there. The manifolds were missing 1 bolt right on the end of this driver's side. Even though it wasn't leaking, you couldn't hear no noise, but there was a bolt missing. I thought, well, is that factory? Because it was, I guess it was filled in with grease or dirt, because it was flush. And I just now opened it up with a screwdriver, and sure enough, there's threads in there. So I don't know, there's been a missing bolt for a long time, and I'm gonna have to round one up. Just like kind of like I don't know what these empty holes here are for. But anyway, let me mount the headers, and we'll go from there. I'll be back. Okay guys, got the headers on there. They look pretty good. Had to reuse the old bolts. They fit good. As you can see here, plenty of clearance from the brake line, from the frames. Now, the passenger side here, like I said, it didn't have a deal for the EGR. But I just watched a bunch of videos last night on this, and some people claim that they can take the whole unit off, this whole housing and everything, just leave this plug dangling, and it'll work fine. And you got to get a plug or something for this. Take this tube out. They'll say this will be all full of black carbon crap. And then other guys, in the comments and stuff were saying, oh man, I did that, my truck runs like shit, and blah 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 blah, and so they say a tune can take it out. You know, you bring it up to somebody that spend $200 to do a tune, or get HP tuners things and all that. So I don't, like I said, I don't want to do any of that right now. So I'm not sure exactly what is this. This is, I don't know if this is sucking or dumping the exhaust gases. If it's blowing it out, I can just leave it disconnected. If not, it's going to have a big vacuum leak there. I have to do something with that just before I start it. I want to do the EGR delete anyway. I'd like to do it, but not right now. I want it running stock the way it was in the truck. Then we'll start taking shit off, one thing at a time. And another guy deleted this this thing here. It's really just, I don't think it saves any horsepower or anything. It's just the vent from the gas tank, but it's also got electrical connection on it too. So anyway, we just got to get it running the way it was in the truck right now. Okay, here's the problem with the passenger side. Transmission lines are in the way and it's awful close to the transmission, but it should be. Okay, now here's the collectors. Has a spot for the O2 sensors, and I put the two upper ones on. Not sure. See, that will fit around the transmission, but we got to get them lines out of the way. Got to bend them or something. So I can connect these two, and I'm just not sure about the bottom two, where I should put them. Here's the bottom two here. Here's one, and there's the other. And then the catalytic converter went here and here. So obviously I'm not going to weld up catalytic converters on it or nothing. So I don't know how they're going to react. Just hooking them up. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, I bent those transmission lines out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna have to get a lot of heat, wrap up this top, wrap up the lines. Okay, so I put on the collector and plugged into one O2 sensor, the front there, the rear's here. I'm not sure if I just stick a pipe in there with it on there and just kind of, I don't know what the computer's gonna do. Anyway, got that side and the other side. Let me just see if I can, I don't know if you can see. Anyway, driver's side lined up perfect, nothing in the way. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just try to stick a pipe in an O2 sensor just so I can connect these to something. So hopefully the computer won't go completely haywire. So let me do that, and then that'll be done, and then we can maybe work on the rest of it. Well, hang on. I did order. I ordered a cold air intake. Of course, you order it for a Silverado. So it comes in here, and the filter sits here. And it didn't show the mass airflow sensor, but it comes with instructions, so I guess it'll tell you where to put this. Well, it's pretty easy to figure out, but I don't want it. This is another one that you don't want to have unplugged. And then it comes with its own heat shield type thing. But of course, it will have to be cut to fit whenever I get the wheel well and fender on here. And then this is where the battery's supposed to be on the Chevelle right here. But obviously we're going to put it over on this side because that's where the Silverado wires come out. So we're going to relocate the battery over here. Okay, I did find some side pipes. I swore a few months ago I put in side pipes on eBay and nothing come up. Maybe you set for an old Corvette. But anyway, a bunch of you guys commented they're on Amazon, and one guy sent me a link to Jegs, but they don't ship out till January 30th, 2023. I'm not going to wait friggin' 6 months, 5 months for them. But anyway, I put them on eBay, and a bunch of sellers are selling this. It's called Patriot, I think. And you can get it in 50-inch and 60-inch. And I measured this, and it's more like 60. 50-inch would be halfway through the rear door. So 60-inch goes almost to the end. So the 50-inch was like $250 or something, and the 60-inch was like $289, $285. So I haven't ordered them yet, but I think I will. I don't need them right yet, but just to put them on there, I think they'll look pretty good. Not sure. I'm a big believer in the cross flow or an X-pipe dual exhaust, so I'm not sure what to do about that. With the side pipes there, I'm gonna have to get a cross flow pipe or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out when the time comes. Okay, well, I'll be back. Okay guys, we're going over this wiring mess. I just stuck the pipe with the O2 sensor right there. Okay, so I'll go with this, all the wiring I cut off the truck that I think I need. This is your main fuse block here, and your computer, ECM, PCM, whatever you want to call it. And then this is the one where you can just connect 3 wires and get it running. Connect power to it, ignition, and it'll start. But of course we want everything else to work. So we got the whole thing. This harness here comes off, and this is, we're not going to need any of this. This is light signals, horn, except for one AC line. So I just kept the harness intact, but we'll probably just end up cutting it all off. I'm not sure what them AC pressure switch lines are and how they're even going to work on this, but okay. So this is the body control module, and this all went underneath the dash. This went to the wipers. There's the cruise control there, and then that went to the wipers. Okay, this one here comes all the way over to the fuel pump. 2 fuel pump ones, and the one little plug right there. And then we got 2 grounds. We got to connect. Where was the other one? Was it just the one? The one ground here, and I think I was thinking of that one there. That ground. Ground them. All the grounds are very important. Okay, so this stuff here goes underneath the dash. This is your OBD2 reader here. We want that to work so we know what's, what engine codes it's throwing. All this stuff here, I'm not sure if we're going to need it. I think we need the body control module. And then this is the main thing here, the gauges. Hook up to the truck gauges. And then this, I believe this and this hook to the column. I'll check. I'm fixing to lay out the column, steering column, and connect, I believe this and this. That may be another, yeah, I think that's one big ground there. All the wires going in, it's got a ground, so we got to ground that. And then we'll put the column here, hook it together, Batteries right here. Positive, negative. We're most likely going to change that over to top post. But for now, I got the battery charging side post. It'll hold the charge for a little while. Set the battery up here somehow. And then use the column and the key, and it should start. And so this is the cruise control here. We'll set that down. We may see there's no cables to the transmission or nothing. It's all electronic. So if we can get whatever controls that to that plug, we can have cruise control. If we can use that column or take the switch off the column. But anyway, let me get this stuff done. I'll be back. Okay, guys. I think I got everything hooked up. Got the fuel, got the electrical to the pump. I run the grounds up to here. Connected a battery. Got two new little deals there. Hooked up the gauges. Just that one plug. And the column hooks into this box, and then one plug right there into this box. Not exactly sure which. Well, I can figure it out. Okay, so that plug and that plug, and that's about it. The rest of these are just this one goes to the master cylinder. This one went to the wipers. No, ABS. That one went to the wipers there. Then this will go to the cruise control. That's why I kept that whole long thing. Okay. So, put a couple gallons of water in there. There's no radiator cap, so I had to put it in through the, I put in a gallon through this hose, undone this hose, put a gallon in the overflow. We're not going to run it very long. The transmission line's in there. I lost the clips. I had to buy these little clips. Goddamn, 12 bucks in the help section for not just two. There was a bunch of different sizes. But yeah, I'll probably find them now that I bought them ones. Got them in there. Put in power steering fluid in the power steering, not tranny fluid. Wanted to use right stuff. We got the O2 sensors hooked up. Okay, so this is all from the truck. It should start with the key. This wire here is rigged for the tow haul. Okay, but it's connected. We turn the key. You know, seat belt flashing, ABS, change engine oil. It had a quarter tank. It's reading an eighth. Reading the odometer. Okay, so we'll turn the key. She should start. Good oil pressure. Shut her down. Now, well, she runs. Now, who was all saying needed a harness? And you needed to bring your computer and get it delete, the key delete and all that. So we got this far. We still got a long ways to go to getting all this to work in this. Yeah, worst case scenario, I can take this off somehow, stick it in the car and use it to start the car. But I'm not sure and if you notice, I showed you the tow haul button here. Now what that does, it turns off the overdrive, but it leaves the gear, the 3 gears in longer. So instead of going like that, it leaves it in the gear like it's, and it revs up before it shifts into second and then third. So you're not, you know, it saves the transmission. So you can use this for racing, I guess. So we have that. How we can connect that, it's just 2 wires. You can probably put it on a toggle switch. But I'm not sure if I can use this column or not. If I could rig this in there somehow, that way we could use all the shifter, key, tow haul stuff, and all that. Okay, and we got to do away with a lot of this stuff that's not needed. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is we'll take apart some stuff. We're going to do, it seemed to run okay with the back O2 sensors. They're hooked up, but they're not hooked up to an exhaust or nothing. They're just laying there in the ground. But we're going to figure that out. Oh, I didn't connect. Oh shit, I didn't connect the first O2 sensor. I think the wires must be jammed up in there. I guess I left it because I thought it was going to be in this harness. Anyway, I'll figure that out. Still got to change the transmission fluid. So yeah, we're going to do away with a lot of these wires and stuff, because you know, one section plug, just this plugs into this whole box, and then this comes out into this box, and this goes all under the dash. I don't even know if there's enough room under the Nomad's dash to stick all this crap. But we're going to try to get rid of all the unnecessary wires. Now, as far as the fuel system goes, we may have to build another one. I'm going to do that on another video, go over that. I'll go over it a little bit. I'm thinking about seeing if I can find a tank to go. Remember my box here? Get a little tank that goes in between here, and then be deep enough. I can go deeper. I can go down to here, so enough for that fuel pump. Because this fuel pump, well, it's been a while. Last time I bought one, they're only like 45 bucks on eBay. And I replaced mine about 8 years ago in my truck, and it's still going. So other people say, oh, they only last a year. But I don't drive that much. But I know this is pretty deep. If I can find a little tank that'll fit this, or even I can cut a hole and fit this in there, and that way I can use this wiring and the fuel lines for the car. Although I could probably figure out all these things. Like I said, I don't know why there's 7 wires there, you know, and I know one's for the gauge and one's for the pump, but what are the other 5 for? So yeah, that's something to think about for now. The fuel system, wiring system, the column, the EGR, and the O2 sensors. We're definitely not putting on catalytic converters, because I think I mentioned I had this problem with my Jeep. I took the catalytic converters off, got the O2 sensors in there, and yeah, it runs good, but it went from 20 miles a gallon to 13 miles to the gallon. And no matter what I done, you can buy the little things to trick the rear O2 sensor. You put steel wool in there, or you could buy these things that I bought. I don't know how much they were, to try to trick it. Didn't help. Nothing helped. I messed around with that thing for 13 miles to the gallon. It sucks. So I don't want that to happen to this. So we got to fix it right. Whether we got to send in the computer anyway and get them shut off. And I got to ask the people that will that affect the gas mileage, shutting them off. Is that the same thing as having no cats? There's a whole reason to put this in here is to get 25 miles to the gallon. I don't want no 13 miles to the gallon or something stupid. I might as well put a friggin' blown big block in it. But so we want 25 miles a gallon. We got to fix all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to check whether this was sucking or blowing. But there's my little light there. I got to buy some heat wrap. I'm going to wrap up the spark plug wires. The other transmission lines, they're almost touching the exhaust. I'm going to buy a bunch of that heat wrap and wrap up a whole bunch of stuff like that. We got the AC system to do. That's probably going to be the toughest. Trying to figure out. It's got all the little plugs in there like this to plug in, and you know, to senses stuff to, I don't know, so it doesn't overpressurize itself and blow up. But anyway, yeah, she runs. She runs without the top O2 sensor, and I have to find out where that plugs into. I'm thinking some wires got jammed underneath that transmission when I put it in, but I found one, and I thought that was the rear. So yeah, then after we get all that done, we're gonna have to do this wiring here for the Chevelle. Like I said, it's mainly for the headlights, just to get the headlights working, maybe the horn or something, but not for anything powering the motor. It's not to the distributor, it's not to the starter, it's none of that. Just gonna have one power wire going to it, and then you can click on and off the light switch for the lights and signals. Okay, so there's still a lot of stuff to go, but anyway, it's in there and she's running. And didn't have to buy a harness, didn't have to buy an oil pan, didn't have to buy a lot of stuff, didn't have to buy a relocation pulley kit. Yeah, I'm gonna let it run here and see if, make sure the power steering doesn't leak, make sure it's full. The transmission should work. We can't really test it because we got the drive shaft kind of just stuck in there, so I can't put it in drive, or else it'll bust that, screw up the drive shaft. That's another thing. We got to send that out to get it shortened. So anyway, still lots to go, but one step at a time. She's running. Okay, well, subscribe if you haven't. Follow me along here as we get rolling. Like, comment, share, all that stuff. If you want to support the channel, buy a bumper sticker for $5. clunkersandclassics@gmail.com, through PayPal. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next one.